Mustahili Yesu, kuabudiwa. Kuabudiwa. Yesu, stahili kuabudiwa. Yesu, kuabudiwa. Hey, hi guys, back again. Hey, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Anyway, it's me, y'all. How are you doing? Call your friend, your friends. Tell them to come on through. It's gonna be a great live today. I know it is gonna be a great live. Okay. Oh wow, a Kenyan song. I think I was singing. I was singing Swahili. Wastahili kuabudiwa, wastahili Yesu. Anyway, I was worshiping in Swahili. So if you know Swahili, shout out to you guys. Shout out to our Tanzanian, our Kenyan followers and clients. Anyway, that song just basically says that God deserves praise. He still deserves our praise. He deserves to be worshipped. All right, in a nutshell. So that's what I was saying, guys. Today is a great topic. We are basically discussing common pitfalls, the things I see that trap people. And I promise you, as I state these things, you yourself, as you're listening, you'll be thinking to yourself, wow, that's pretty like common sense, like that makes sense. And it's true, it really is. Like a lot of the things I see that trap people are just common sense, common small things that add up, right? Think, how does the Bible say it's the little foxes that spoil the vine, the little foxes. So, and then it's the, just a little bad wine in the wineskin makes the whole wine go bad. I guess I don't know if I'm paraphrasing that right according to the Bible, but anyway, small things. So that's what I'm gonna jump into, and that's what I'm gonna discuss. And so these things I'm discussing, they cover lots of cases. They cover VAWA cases if you're doing VAWA. They cover adjustment of status to marriage cases if you're adjusting your status to your spouse. They cover even citizenship cases. So these are things that I see that trap and really mess people up, all across the board. And by the way, before I start that, so I'll be done speaking in just about 3 to 5 minutes from now. So you can go ahead and start putting in your request if you want to come live. Start um, uh, whatever, tapping the button that says I want to come live on IG. Start doing that now, because yesterday I think I had 4 or 5 people left, and I told y'all that if you want to make sure I answer your question as soon as I come live, you need to be requesting to come live so you can be in the queue. All right. Now, without further ado, let's start talking. So, common pitfalls. First of all, make sure your documents are original. Make sure you have the original copy of your documents. So, those are specifically for anything that are court issues. Divorce documents, you need the original certified court copy. Okay, birth certificates, you need the original certified court copy. The only exception to that is some countries, the the Department of State has said some countries like Nigeria, like some, and some other places where there's usually a lot of where the systems aren't so right, or maybe the systems haven't been always synchronized. Some places like Nigeria and I think India, the Department of State will say, okay, so if you can't get the original birth certificate, we'll take a birth certificate from the National Population Commission, and then we'll take a birth certificate from some other places. So, but that's according to country by country. But generally speaking, the general rule is you want to have the original birth certificate from the appropriate authority. So, and then you want to have the original divorce certificate from the appropriate authority. By original court certified, I mean with the seal. with the seal or with the notarized stamp or seal. That's what you need. You need an original one. So I can already hear some people asking me, so, we're living thousands and thousands of miles away. So how are we supposed to get the region? Like, what if you get a request for evidence and they're asking you for an original court certified copy of your divorce certificate or your birth certificate? So where should I get that from? So the rule is, I mean, you can have those people email it to you. You can have them DHS it to you from Nigeria, from Kenya, from India, from whatever, or have them mail it by DHS. But if you're not going to get it on time, then just make sure they scan over a very clear copy with this that has that immigration can clearly see this is obviously the original court certified copy of the document. So what in other words, the most important thing is you need that seal from the court or that stamp, right? Or if it's coming from somewhere like National Population Commission in Nigeria, then you just want to make sure that you're submitting a document that the immigration government, sorry, that the U.S. government has said they will accept. You want to make sure you're submitting a document from an authority, an appropriate authority that the U.S. government has recognized. If we get a document from National Population Commission, if we get a document from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, like if in Kenya or something, or if we get a document from whatever ministry or department this is, we're gonna believe it's valid. So the trick is you want to make sure it's coming from a place that the U.S. government has said they will accept, number one. And number two, you want to make sure it has all the appropriate seals, stamps, notaries, etc., showing that it's truly from that place. It's truly from that appropriate authority. Okay, so always have, in other words, an original court certified copy if applicable, or an original copy that has a seal from the appropriate authority. These are the most important things. So that's number one, is just to have the original court copy or the original copy with the appropriate seal, okay, or with the appropriate stamp or with the appropriate notary seal. All right. Secondly, this is the other thing I see that traps people up. So long story short, back to that point number one, I just see a lot of people, submitting things without that, and that becomes a problem. Secondly, make sure your documents match up. So if you have an affidavit, on your affidavit or declaration, you state you lived with your spouse for 2 years. Okay, then your affidavit, on your supporting affidavits from family and friends, your friend or family states you live together for 6 months or you live together for a year. That's obviously a red flag. So you always want to make sure you go through, you yourself, not even your lawyer, you yourself need to go through the affidavits that your family and your friends write for you to make sure it matches up with what you said. That's just obvious common sense. But sometimes it's not so common, okay? It's not so common sense. So make sure your documents match up. If you said you lived together with your spouse from January 2020 to January 2022, and then your friend or your family or your supporting affidavit states that you and your spouse only lived together from January 2020 to December 2020, then obviously that's a red flag. So make sure your documents match up. Anything you submit to support your case, it's got to match up what you actually said. And this is where I always say, now this leads me now to my point number 3. The truth is always the best. So things like that happen when you're lying. When you're over there making up a story, you could forget the story you wrote. You could forget the story you're going with. True fact, true story. I've seen it so many times. So make sure you're telling the truth, because that's why the truth is always the best way, or at least stick to the truth as much as possible. Don't go try embellishing a whole big story, and then you forget even the story that you're going with. And then, so then the big story that you wrote, you got to go tell your friends to write supporting affidavits that match what you told your friends that that you said or that you went through. And so then now your friends have to make sure they're lying properly according to your story. So again, you wouldn't have usually a problem with your documents or affidavits matching up if you're telling the truth. Now that's not always the, that's, I'm not saying that's 100% the fact. Like there's times of someone is telling the truth and maybe your friend just didn't know, or maybe your friend just didn't know about the situation as much as you did. That's possible, which leads me to my next point. Whoever writes your supporting affidavits for you, for your VAWA case, your adjustment of status to marriage case, or your asylum case, make sure they actually understood what you went through. Make sure, it's usually better to have people who have personal knowledge of what you've gone through. Like they need to actually have seen or heard what you were going through. They need to have actually, if it's a VAWA case, actually seen you and your spouse fighting, actually seeing your spouse doing crazy things to you. Those are always the best people to write an affidavit for you, right? But of course, there's exceptions to the rule. This is just generally speaking. So make sure your stuff lines up. Um, okay, and make sure number three. I've already now covered number three. Stick to the truth, or the truth is always the best story, and especially for asylum cases, y'all, and even VAWA cases. People always have this idea that the more I embellish my story, the greater it's gonna be. No, it's just, can you write can you have a lawyer write, or can you yourself write what you went through in the best way possible? That's what matters. It's not about making up this big story, okay? People don't win green cards because of big embellished stories. People win green cards because of what they actually went through, and because of them writing it in such a way where immigration understands you're qualified. And that's where having a good lawyer comes in. Whoever you have representing you for your VAWA case, or your asylum case, or your adjustment of status to marriage case, whatever it is, they need to be someone that can really adequately write down what you experienced in such a way where it proves that you have met the legal burden for that benefit. So if it's asylum, you just need to have a lawyer that understands what asylum is, what kinds of cases are winning asylum cases, and how to use what you actually experienced to ensure that immigration understands you fit the profile of someone who should get an asylum case. So, for example, a good asylum lawyer will know that there's 5 categories for asylum, 5 different grounds for asylum. Generally speaking, for asylum, you need to show you fled your home country because you fear for your life, and because it's because of something you cannot easily change about yourself, such as these 5 categories, such as your race, your nationality, your religion, your political opinion. All right, and then the 5th category is other social groups that don't meet this other 4. So things like your things like domestic violence, things like female genital mutilation, things like your sexual orientation. All these things go into this 5th category. So, your lawyer, if I'm your lawyer or whoever is your lawyer, their job is just to write down what you experienced. Say in your home country, you were never actually beaten up or never raped or anything like that, but you had multiple threats, serious threats that could arise, that the reasonable person would know that, hey, if I stay here, they're gonna actually rape me like they said they would, or they're gonna actually beat me up like they said they would, or they're gonna actually kill me like they said they would. So it's just your lawyer's job to write the story in such a way where immigration understands, yes, even though my client was never actually raped or never actually beaten up, the threats were so high that it was about to happen, or that the threats were so high, or the area where they live in is just so is under such political unrest that it was going to happen. And of course, the best example I can give right now is Israel right now. Like, so if anybody coming from Gaza right now, or that area right now, could easily come and say and file for asylum, because that whole area, everybody's life is in danger. And so, anyway, long story short, my point is to say you don't have to embellish your story. It's just, can you write it in such a way where immigration understands you have met the legal burden? And that's really your lawyer's job anyway. A good lawyer will know how to do that. And then lastly, so stick to the truth, y'all. Stick to the truth. Stop trying to embellish your big stories. And then now you got your friends trying to lie for you, and then they forgot which lie to stick with. And then that's how immigration catches up to you. Right. So stick to the truth. Okay. And then when you stick to the truth, your friends will stick to the truth. And then lastly, also, of course, get the people who are writing your affidavits, they need to be they need to know what happened to you as much as possible for them to write a good supporting affidavit. All right. Lastly, let me make sure I put my charger on so my laptop doesn't go through. Lastly, respond to every request for evidence. Respond to every request for evidence, y'all. So important. So important. Like, people get scared when they get a request for evidence, especially for VAWA cases, and then they just quit. A whole good case, you just quit on it because you got a request for evidence. Yo, a request for evidence doesn't mean you're going to get denied. It just simply means maybe the immigration officer that's looking at your case doesn't understand the law. Maybe the immigration officer that's looking at your case is confused about something you said. Maybe they just want to throw the kitchen sink at you. Maybe they just want to see how bad do you want it. I've had cases like that where it was just clear. Immigration just wanted to see, well, how bad do you want it? Okay. And after we responded to that whole big request for evidence, we won the case. Or it could just be that the person just, for whatever reason, they could be confused. The officer who's reading your case could be confused about something. Maybe they don't know the law. Maybe they just want clarification. Or simply put, maybe they're just trying to give you a hard time. But don't give up just because they're asking you these things. Let me start taking this question. So don't give up just because you got a request for evidence. That's one of the biggest things I see. People give up on their cases halfway through because you received a request for evidence. Okay. Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm good.
How can I help you?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, like, one of my brother, he is planning, like, he wants to come to US. So, what should we do?
You need to schedule a consultation.
I mean, he's a graduate and he's willing to come to US. But
yeah, that's such a broad question, sir. Schedule a consultation. I need to talk to him to see what he should do. Okay.
So how do we do that? I mean, I live in US, but right now I'm in vacation.
I'll put my number here at the bottom.
Okay. I'll just take a screenshot. Okay. I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
So right now, yeah, I'm in vacation. I'll give you a call once I come back.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay. All right. I'm taking live questions now, y'all. So in the beginning, all I was doing was talking about common pitfalls. So now is the time. I'm taking questions. I think there was like 3 people waiting. Where'd you guys go? Did you guys have to go back to work? I think I saw someone said I got to go back to work. So maybe I should come back in the evening. I'm joking. So, but maybe next time I'll come back in an evening. If there's no more questions, that's the only question we have now. Because earlier I was discussing common pitfalls. You're welcome to watch this live backwards today. I don't feel like summarizing so much. I always summarize for y'all again and again what I was talking about, but not today. So if there's no other questions, we'll leave it here. But yeah, I guess I'll try. Let me do a short summary. I'll try. In summary, in a nutshell, common pitfalls: not providing original court-certified copies, not providing documents that have a seal or a notarized stamp to show this came from the appropriate authority. Secondly, and along the line is submitting documents like birth certificates, divorce documents, things like those that are not from the appropriate authority. So let's say in a particular country, it's the high court that issues the divorce certificates, and then you submit a divorce certificate from the customary court. It's a big red flag. So make sure your document, what you're submitting to show your divorce or to show where you were born, is from the appropriate recognized authorities, from an authority, a place or an authority that U.S. government recognizes as valid, especially if you're coming from a country that has a lot of fraud. You really want to make sure that you have the right document from the right authority, and that and that he has a seal showing that this is the original copy. And of course, I always want to just stay here a little minute and discuss one of my clientele, which clientele countries, which is Nigeria. Nigeria, right now we're experiencing a lot of issues with fraudulent divorce documents. This could be really the only thing that hinders you from getting your green card. Truly, it really can. So I hope whoever's listening to this, that you pass it over to whoever may need it, to go ahead and start. If you were divorced before in Nigeria, you really, really want to just go ahead and be proactive and have a lawyer, a good lawyer in Nigeria, check and verify that divorce certificate is valid, that it's from the appropriate authority, that it's from the high court, and that it has the rights, seal, and that it's valid. And they need to check the number. Usually there's a docket number. I mean, like a case number that's given for every divorce. You need to actually check that number to see, like, was this done properly. You need to have a lawyer actually check that number on your divorce certificate, especially in Nigeria, because we have so many issues sometimes with people, simply because the number that's on your divorce certificate doesn't match like what's on record on file. So check it up, make sure you have a lawyer check out the docket number or the case number on your divorce certificate, especially in Nigeria, and make sure it's valid. I'm not singling out Nigeria. It's just that I haven't seen this issue with other countries as much, or really ever, actually. So you really want to make sure, if you've been divorced before in Nigeria, you want to check that divorce document. Now, of course, as I always say, it is my advice, well, not my advice, if it's my opinion, my legal opinion, that if you're listening to this and you're not yet divorced, but you're already here and you're from Nigeria, and you're married, you are married to someone, and you need a divorce, my opinion, my legal opinion, experience, is that the best way is to get a divorce here in the US. As much as possible, you want to get your divorce from here in the United States, instead of course trying to get it from Nigeria, because of all these issues I've just already pointed out. Now, that doesn't mean they're not people. I'm not saying they're not people who are from Nigeria and have valid certificates, have the valid divorce certificates. Absolutely, there are people who have them. But the number of the people who have valid divorce certificates from Nigeria compared to the number of people that immigration flags for fraudulent divorce documents is so low. So, in other words, the average Nigerian is a victim to the fraudulent divorce system in Nigeria. It's just a fact, in my opinion. So, based on the work that I do and the fact that most of our clients are Nigerians, I could just tell you that if you're from Nigeria, the chances of you getting a proper divorce certificate from Nigeria are very low, unless you did your proper research, unless you really looked into the lawyer you got with, you really made sure you are well involved in the process from beginning to end, you attended the court yourself, you made sure you got a proper divorce certificate yourself. Unless you did all those steps, you are very highly involved, it's usually very unlikely that you got a proper divorce certificate from Nigeria. Again, I've seen some who did, and I'm so happy for those. But the majority is just so low. And of course, now I have Nigerian contacts. I have Nigerian lawyers, and who tell me that, yeah, in Nigeria it's just so easy. You just want to go get a divorce. You could just pay anybody, and they'll say they'll get your divorce. And then of course it's much later on that you find out that, dang, it's gone bad, that it wasn't even right. So if you're listening to me, point of the moral of the story: either be all the way involved in your divorce. If you're getting a divorce in Nigeria, make sure you, of course, research the lawyer. Make sure this is a certified lawyer, that this lawyer is going to give you proper divorce documents, and is going to follow the whole process to get your proper divorce document. Or make sure you get a divorce from here in America. All right. All right. Yeah, I guess that's what I could say. That's what I could say and summarize that. All right, guys. If there's no more questions, we'll leave it there. It's 12:38, guys. Share the love. If you need me, if I've mentioned something that you think you need my help with, you really, really want to give me a call. And I think lastly, I want to buttress that just a big common pitfall that I see is making up, embellishing your story. Most people that I consult with already have a good story of what they experienced either in Africa or whatever in their home country if they're filing for asylum. Most people already have a good story of what they've experienced in their marriage if they're filing for VAWA. Most people already have a good story. You don't need to embellish and make it extra and big, and you don't need to do all that. Usually, most times, it's just good already. So stick to the truth is my biggest advice. Stick to the truth, or stick to the truth as much as possible. Hello?
Hello, hi, how are you?
Good. Can you put your camera up? Okay. How can I help you?
Yeah, it's a question I didn't really want to ask.
Okay.
I've sorry, don't stand up.
Okay.
All right, I've done I've submitted my I-1 info 485,
Okay.
and after I submit all of that, they request medical, sent in the medical at such time. But after I submit all of that, my wife petition approved after. Is that will be an issue if it will slow the process?
That she submitted what, the medical exam afterwards?
No, after I submit all the requirements
Okay.
that they ask for the 485,
Okay.
yeah, about a couple weeks after that, they approve my petition.
Okay. All right. The
So,
I-130, you mean?
when I read it,
They approved the I-130, is what you
yeah,
mean? Okay.
when I read it, it said I must submit a copy of it.
Okay.
But I already sent in required documents, so I was wondering if that would slow the process.
No, they're asking for a medical exam, right?
They already get the medical.
Okay, so sorry, somewhere I'm confused. So what do you think is going to start? Okay.
And,
Maybe it's the accent.
And the I-130, right? It says I must submit a copy of the approval notice.
Okay.
With the I-485.
Right.
But I already submit all of that before it was approved.
Okay, so then just submit it again.
Huh?
So is this a request for evidence that you received?
The request for evidence that I received was just for medical.
All right.
I done all of that.
Okay.
But after I done all of that, they did send for request for evidence pertaining to our marriage.
Okay.
And I done all of that also.
Okay.
So we get it approved about 2 weeks after.
You got what approved, the I-130 or the I-45?
The I-130.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, we get that approved.
Okay.
So when my wife received the notice, approval notice, it said we must follow the instruction and submit a copy of the I-130 approval notice with the 485.
So that's when she received the I-45 receipt notice?
But we have that long. We received that long before.
Okay. What I'm confused upon is when did they ask for that and on what? So they asked that in a 485 now request for evidence. Did they now issue a third request for evidence? That's what you're not making clear.
No, they don't request for a third evidence. What I understand is before we did submit all documents with the I-485, right?
Okay. Right.
They sent for biometrics. We done that.
Okay.
Then they sent for medical.
Okay.
We've done that.
Right.
They give us a specific time to send in the medical.
Exam.
The medical, yeah, they give us a timing.
Okay.
So we send it in before the timing. With we get a reference for evidence for the I-130.
Okay.
After we already submit all the evidence for I-145 already.
Okay.
Renting, yeah. So we get a reference for the I-130 evidence if our marriage is bona fide.
Okay.
So we done all of that, send it in, and about a couple weeks after my wife received it being approved.
Correct.
So after we received the notice of approval for the I-130,
yeah,
in it it's stating that we
you
should
needed to
follow the
submit a copy of their approval notice for it, but they haven't asked for it yet, right? That's what they want to make it clear. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about then yet.
Okay, I was wondering if that was going to cause a problem or anything.
Usually on the 45, you needed a copy of the I-130 because there's no, because otherwise you don't qualify without it. So they'll probably send you a request for evidence, or they'll reject it.
They will ask for it basically.
Yeah, either that or they're gonna reject their packet completely. One of the two.
Okay, because after we send in the I-145, they said they will either send me a decision, or if they need something else from me, they will.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what I know. I've already answered your question. They're either gonna send you a request for evidence or they're gonna reject it entirely so you can send it in. They're gonna do one of the two.
Okay.
When they reject it entirely, that means they send back the packet you sent, and they'll say it's invalid because of this and this and this. So they're either gonna reject the whole packet or they're just gonna send you a request for evidence asking for that one thing that you left off. Does that make sense?
So if they reject it after file back over, right?
Yes, sir. You only get one question. Schedule consultation. You're trying to play me, man. Me, I'm trying to play me, man. I can't speak
No. I just want to understand the process.
Yeah, but I've given you a great explanation here. I'm taking my time explaining it. I can't give you any more time. You need more time to schedule consultation.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hi.
Let me take the lady first.
All right.
Go ahead, madam. Hurry up.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
I wanted to ask you a question. The question I was trying to ask is, can one file for your green card and it wasn't approved, and the reason they sent a letter and they said they wanted you to go for a DNA, and your spouse refused that, and the relationship became a big problem. And at the end of the day, you had to move out of the house. Can you file for VAWA? Because since he refused to give a DNA and all that, would they still subject you?
You can't file for VAWA because he refused to give you a DNA. We can file for VAWA because you already had problems before that. So it depends. So schedule a consultation. But long story short, we can't file for VAWA just because he refused to file for you. He has a right not to. But I would need more information to find out if you really qualify for VAWA. Schedule a consultation, okay, madam?
Okay.
All right. Let me take her off. Hello, sir.
Yes, VAWA Queen.
What's up?
Good afternoon. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm live with you from Indianapolis. So, thank you for the good work and a lot of testimonies of work permit and green cards from your end. Kudos to you, ma.
Thank you.
Quick question, ma. So this VAWA,
by the way, I'm not ma.
Is it 100%?
Just VAWA Queen is just VAWA Queen. Don't call me ma.
No, this African thing, most especially from the western side. Never mind. So now, is this VAWA process or procedure, is he 100% sure that somebody is going to get their parole, work permit, and their green card in the process? So whatever your circumstances may be, maybe you have a criminal record, maybe you have felony, 6, whatever the case may be, is there any assurance that somebody will get to the final level of getting a green card?
Is it a trick question? Is that a trick question? Do you really want me to answer that question? What I can say is, in life, there's no guarantees. But what I can say is that if the application is done properly, if everything is done properly, you're supposed to, at the very least, with VAWA, get a work permit, travel permit, and protection from deportation. And we haven't had one client that didn't get them. At least that's my experience. At least I didn't get those three: work permit, travel permit, and protection from deportation. Right? The one that's for sure not a guarantee is that green card. Now that's gonna depend on now the final determination from immigration. But now, having said all that, I still think you have the best chance to get a green card through VAWA Queen, of course. So if that's something you're considering, you need to give me a call. We'll talk, and I'll screen you for it, and I'll tell you what your chances are in a consultation. That's the best answer I can give you. Is that when I consult with you, I'll tell you what your chances are of winning.
Yeah, the line is breaking. I don't know. Probably from your end is breaking.
Jesus. So I have to respond to everything I just... okay. Let me take you off and I'll answer
your question. You should respond to everything you've said. I was following you, but I just want you to know that the line is breaking. So,
okay.
But VAWA Queen, you do an excellent job, but we've got this report that you are one of the most expensive lawyers we have in the United States doing VAWA.
Who said that?
You have a chain of operation, from the receptionist to the lawyer. You have different offices.
So
you are the last bus stop.
So you've done your research, okay?
So I don't know, maybe because of this chain networking in your organization that makes you to be so expensive. But we are appealing to you. We know you are doing an excellent job. Please bring it down.
I'm not even the most expensive one.
You are.
I'm not. I'm 100% sure, because let me tell you, I'm 100% sure of this because all the VAWA lawyers we came up together, and so I know them, and I can tell you that the people that are on my level, what they're charging is at least 2, 3, 4K higher. They've already gone up every year. They go up. My prices have stayed the same for about 3 years now. I think 3, 4 years. That price has remained the same. So I'm doing good to stay there, because honestly, when you get to approval ratings, I could just decide that I want to charge. I don't want to say. I could just decide I want to charge double, and I would be able to. But I'm not. I'm keeping the price as is, so that whatever your friend paid a year or 2 years ago is what you would pay. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I've sent quite numbers of people to you. Your payment plan is excellent. For 2 years, your payment plan is excellent. The breakdown is very good. You are lenient. That's fine. But this is what I want to ask with you. From the immigration now, let
me stop you there. You need to schedule a consultation. You just need to schedule a consultation, because like now we're having a whole conversation.
No, this is not for me.
Okay.
It's for the general public.
It's for the general public. 5 years, but where do you come in? But where do you come in? Where do you come in? Sir, schedule a consultation. I've spoken and answered your 2 questions, please. And there's people waiting,
okay, I just
and you're trying to put all my business out in the whole world, which I don't like.
Okay, I'm not gonna schedule a consultation. I just like
you're trying to put my whole business out there, man.
What is it?
You're trying to put my whole business out there. In fact, I need to get you off here. Bye-bye.
I just want to know that this 5 years work authorization, is it going to come from VAWA as well? If you do VAWA, do you get 5 years work authorization?
Sir, I've answered 2 of your questions. You're being disrespectful. Schedule a consultation. Bye-bye.
All right, Queen, thank you for bringing me on. Thank you. God bless you.
Bye-bye. Oh, God. All right, guys. Someone said, bring me on, please. And I'm like, I don't bring y'all in. You have to request to come live. You got to request to come live. I'll take these last two people and then I'm gone. Hello? I can't add you, madam. You gotta add me. You gotta request to come live. It's on your side. There's a should be like a request to come live or I want to go live button. That's the answer to Claudia Blake. These two people, I'm trying to bring you in. If it doesn't come in, I'll consider it that maybe we weren't supposed to speak. It's 3 actually. Guys, I'm trying to bring you in. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna try one more time. It's 5, 6 people now wanting to come live. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. Let's try these 2 people now. See if I see your request. I'm trying to bring you in. Let's see if it'll connect. I've seen your request, madam. I'm trying. If this persists another 30 seconds, we'll call it a day. And then the 6 people that want to come live, I'm going to say, catch me tomorrow. Likely I'll try to come back tomorrow again so I can answer all these questions live. And guys, while I'm bringing these people in, don't mind what that guy said. He tried to put all my business out there. He says it's not connecting. Okay. Yes, we do. What I can say is, what's the best way I can say? In life, what you get, what you pay for. We are not cheap. Yes. And I've said that even on my lives. We're not cheap. Our services are not cheap, but definitely they're worth it. So just in response to what that guy said, let's see. I know it's not connecting. I'm trying. This is the last time I'm going to try, guys. And then if I'm not able to bring you live, we'll call it a day. Guys, in summary, I guess I'm going to have to summarize because these lives are not connecting. I need to go offline and come. I need to go offline. Huh? It shows the previous people are still here with me. Let me try something. All right, now I'm going to try again. One last time. If it don't work, call it a day. And guys, you can always catch me on my next live. If you didn't get to speak with me today, you can always catch me on my next live. In summary, I told y'all common pitfalls. Make sure whoever writes a supporting affidavit for you knows what you actually went through, actually saw it or heard it with your own ears, and can write a good narrative of what you actually experienced. Make sure whoever writes your supporting affidavit writes a statement or a story that matches what you wrote. What you told immigration you went through, either if it's for asylum, either in your home country. So, maybe you had a friend or family or a priest or a community leader or elder write that in your culture, women are mutilated, and they do cut women still to this day in your culture. So maybe you had an elder or a friend or family member write and state that if you are to go back to your home country, they're definitely going to forcefully mutilate you and marry you off to an old man. Forced marriage. So whatever story they write or whatever they state needs to corroborate what you wrote and actually strengthen what you wrote. Common sense, but not so common again when you're trying to make up lies. That's now number 3. I'm summarizing what I was talking about earlier. That's my number 3 point. Stick to the story. Stick to the truth. Stick to the truth. And make sure, or at least stick to the truth as much as possible. Because when you stick to the truth, then these things I told you wouldn't happen. You wouldn't, most times, then you wouldn't end up having affidavits that are contradicting what you said. Because, and you wouldn't have now friends trying to write a big whole lie and then they're not even sure which lie to stick with. Okay, maybe you came up with this whole embellished story, and you had your friend or family try to write a supporting affidavit for you for VAWA or asylum or adjustment of status to marriage, but because it's such a big embellished story, your friends don't even know what to write. They don't even know which lie to stick with, Lord. So the truth is always the best. In summary, stick to the truth. And then lastly, I told you, depending on you're from especially some countries in Africa, you want to make sure your divorce certificate is valid, it's legit, that you actually participated in the divorce from beginning to end, that you did all that you could do. You did your due diligence, do research to find a good lawyer to do your divorce, and that that divorce certificate is valid. You want to have a different lawyer check up on that divorce to see, does the case number on that divorce actually match up with what's in the system? Is it valid? Is it like a real, true case and was it actually really registered? That divorce, was it really registered properly according to the Nigerian system? You want to check all that stuff properly, and you want to. And I told you that, especially if you can, especially for the Nigerians, if you can, my best advice right now with the way things are in Nigeria is if you're listening to me before you've gotten a divorce, the best place to get a divorce will be here in the U.S. So you can just hire a divorce lawyer here in the U.S. I don't do them, so don't call me. All right. And then even if I did, I can't do them for you in a different state. Find a lawyer in the U.S. to get you a proper divorce that can stand. So that's a summary of what I was discussing. Get proper divorce documents, proper birth certificates, make sure they have the proper seal, make sure they're from the right authority, make sure they're coming from an authority or place that the U.S. government recognizes, make sure the people who write your affidavits are telling the truth or know the truth themselves. Right. I know, Miss Claudie, I want to speak to you too, but I can't. Okay. I'm gonna try you. I'll try one more time to see if it'll bring you in this time, Miss Claudia. And if it doesn't, hi. Then if it doesn't, then we'll leave it there. So I'm gonna try one more time to bring you live to ask a question. And then if it doesn't go through, you can just come back tomorrow. I think I'll try to come back in tomorrow and answer questions again. All right, Miss Claudia, I tried. It didn't go through. Everybody have a great day. Share the love. I shared so many snippets about common pitfalls of the VAWA case, of an asylum case, common pitfalls of an adjustment of status to marriage case. You really want to share it. Share with your frenemy, your enemy. Share with all. Don't be stingy. And then I'll see you all shortly. Again, my phone number is at the bottom if you need to schedule a consultation. And then I think that's it. Pretty soon I'll probably start to do some weekend consultations. So if you need a consultation with me ASAP, maybe now is the time you want to call. Before I am already super busy, but before those slots fill up. So right now I've got just a few slots for people who really need to talk to me immediately for a consultation. And if you need one, you want to call now and schedule one. They are at an extra fee. They are going to be an extra fee. So if you need to speak to me, you can't wait. You can't wait till I think I'm at November now. I'm at end of November now. My consultations are going up to the end of November. But if you need a sooner consultation, you have to pay an extra fee. Our consultation fees are $150. They're $150. That's standard. But if it's like a same day or weekend consultation or a rushed consultation, we charge an extra $100. So that's going to be $250 if you need it immediately. So if you need an immediate, you can't wait the line to speak with me, and you need to speak to me ASAP, it is going to be $250. Otherwise, everybody else pays $150, and it's been like that for years. Bye, guys. Love you. Bye.